when the moon moves between the Earth and the Sun, blocks the Sun's light, and casts a shadow on the Earth. When the moon completely covers the bright disk of the Sun, that's a total solar eclipse, and it happens roughly every year and a half somewhere on Earth. A partial solar eclipse is more common, happening at least twice a year. A lunar eclipse, on the other hand, is where the moon moves behind the Earth, so it's now the Earth blocking the Sun's light on the moon, creating a shadow on it with a red tint. The easy way to remember the difference is to remember what gets darker. With the solar eclipse, the Sun gets darker, and during a lunar eclipse, the moon does. A solar eclipse is a rare event that not many get to see, because the moon's shadow is relatively small. This limits the locations on Earth that get to see it. You have to be on the sunny side of the planet, and you have to be in the path of the moon's shadow. So, if you find your area in the path of totality one year, you've hit the jackpot, because on average, that same spot on Earth will only get to see a solar eclipse every 375 years. During a solar eclipse, the moon casts a shadow with two parts, the umbra and penumbra. The moon's umbra is part of the moon's shadow where the entire Sun is blocked by the moon. In space, it's a cone extending some 400,000 kilometers behind the moon. It's when the small end of this cone hits the Earth that we experience a total solar eclipse. Most eclipse maps depicting the path will show you a circle representing the shadow of the moon, but in actuality, the true shape of the umbra is more like an irregular polygon with slightly curved edges. This is because the moon isn't a perfect circle. It has mountains and valleys on its surface, which all affect the passing sunlight and subsequent shape of its shadow. And scientists now have a greater understanding of the shape of the moon's surface, thanks to NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. The unprecedented level of detail from the topographic maps, photos, and other datasets has allowed us to more precisely pinpoint the regions on Earth falling within the path of totality of a solar eclipse. So, if you get the chance to witness a solar eclipse, always remember that our little moon plays a role that's quite large.
Looking back at Earth from a million miles away, the Deep Space Climate Observatory will watch the August total solar eclipse in real time, giving scientists a unique opportunity to study our solar-powered planet. NASA's Earth polychromatic imaging camera, called EPIC, will capture images of the moon's shadow passing over Earth. A team of scientists will combine data from EPIC with measurements taken on the ground to learn more about how the sun's energy is absorbed and reflected in Earth's atmosphere. Clouds affect how much of the sun's energy reaches Earth, which can be difficult to calculate without knowing how each cloud blocks, absorbs, or transmits light. Like a giant cloud, the moon blocks out the sun's energy during the solar eclipse. Because we already know the exact shape and makeup of the moon, scientists can use the natural phenomenon to develop new calculations that could improve estimates of Earth's energy system and answer questions about Earth's climate. NASA has studied the Sun and Earth relationship for more than 40 years. This year, NASA is launching 2 instruments to further study Earth's energy system.
On August 21st, 2017, a solar eclipse will pass over all 50 United States. This will afford most of the country a glimpse of what it is like to have the moon slide between the sun and the Earth, casting a shadow on us down below. The experience will look different depending on where you are located. If you are along the path of totality, you see the moon fully block the sun. If you are outside of the path, you will see the moon go by, but the sun will never be fully covered. Wherever you are, you never want to look directly at the sun without protection. Like eclipse glasses, not sunglasses. The one exception is if you are able to see totality. Only when the moon has fully blocked the sun, you are safe to look at the eclipse directly. Before and after that moment, keep your eyes protected. Events like this are rare. The last total solar eclipse to cross the US coast to coast was in 1918, and the next total solar eclipse in the continental US isn't until 2024. Don't miss this opportunity to experience a solar eclipse.